Nah, this is Captain Morgan today. A little Red Bull.
You got the Henry Morgan?
Gotta
The
have
very
that spicy.
famous son.
You know, I didn't shit. You feel me?
That a truly?
It truly is.
Yo, Chance, give me a minute.
So he drinks that. He drinks that every episode.
I don't be seeing that. Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
Squeeze bang, keep eating, no cap, keep eating, yeah, keep eating, no cap, keep eating, yeah, keep eating, no cap, keep eating, yeah, keep eating, no cap, keep eating. Friend or foe, choose wisely, brother, cause that thing is sing to you. No Osley brothers, suckers, always plotting, give minus fucks. Niggas mad your boy Gamo got the Midas touch. Niggas sick like Neo song. Plus my money left is something like Neolong. Any false moves in the Ruger clap. Only time you lick shots is listening to Super Cap. Phonies make me laugh.
Man, if he gonna do it, he gonna do it.
Yo, ask.
My thing is, why nobody just jumped them back then?
I think that fear, that whole fear thing they implemented.
Jump who?
The owners. I ain't squad up.
As a person from the first independent nation on this, especially black nation on this side of the world, I could tell you, there was multiple slave revolts on multiple islands and in the United States, and there's reasons why it don't work, because it wasn't just about black or white. It's about rich and poor too. Because when you had overseers on land, usually the rich people could get out of it, just pay a poor person to do, or the laws was shaped in a way that they made poor people do it. And when you already, trampled on by rich white people and you're a white person yourself, you ain't gonna feel too good, and make you feel a little bit better trampling on somebody else. And a lot of times that was slaves, runaways, and stuff like that. There was plenty of slave revolts. It was easy to put them down, even though you had way more slaves on the property than a particular white owner family. It wasn't about, why don't we just, because where you gonna go? It's illegal for thousands of miles. Where you going? You can't just escape without help. That's why you got the Underground Railroad and shit like that. That shit is just not gonna work. That's why my Twitter name is Coupe Tete Boule Kai. That's Creole or French for cut off their heads, burn their houses. Because that's what they said in the Haitian Revolution. My thing's been that for a long time, because I believe that for a long time. I don't believe in non-violent revolution. Revolution is violent. That's just how it works, because that's what when Toussaint Louverture was in Haiti, that's what he said. He said, kill all the French, kill the mamas, the daddies, the children. I don't care if they white, kill them. And that's just how that shit worked. And that's why we had the first successful slave revolution down there. But you couldn't just do it, because they got the power. They had the money, they had the power, and the laws on their side.
And I'll piggyback that shit. We talking about Jamaica. The Caribbean set that tone, yo, right? Yeah. So Haiti set it off, and we let them know, yo, we wild. There's only one slave plantation house left in Jamaica, and it's a museum. It's so you can go see how fucked up they were. But other than that, they packed their shit and just left. Like, yo, these niggas is too wild. Cool. I'm glad. A lot of slaves would snitch, though, when they planned revolts. No one talks about that. Definitely there's an issue between the house Negroes and the field ones.
Yeah.
Some of the house ones helped, and some of the house ones snitched. Some of the field ones helped. Some of the field ones snitched. And then, like he said, there's this lower class citizens. The people in the middle have always been the ones to maintain the slaves.
Yeah.
But they're worth less than the slaves, which is why you got the movie The Free State of Jones, based on a true story, because they finally realized, yo, look, we're not on their side. There is no side. All right, it's rich and then it's poor, and that's it. And they realized that. That's why they fought against both sides during the Civil War. But yeah, there's been plenty of revolts. Plenty of times they're like, yo, screw these fools. And it needs to stay that way. Another
thing is slavery is way worse than anything history books tell us. If you really want to find out how bad it's history, you better find some of them old diaries from the Negroes who could read, and from slave owners who had no shame, and they're just writing everything in the goddamn diary. Because they still uncovering shit like chairs, and then you open a chair, it's all human hair, and what type of hair it is, black people hair. And if I could make chairs out of that shit. Now, if you think about it like that, slavery is way worse than anything they will ever tell us. Like that shit was crazy.
They're gonna sugarcoat everything about that.
Hell yeah.
They're gonna tell you all that the gruesome and grimy stuff. We hear about what you hear about in the history books.
Yeah.
They tell you doing this February 28, 28 days in February.
They keep writing that book. They keep rewriting it.
Mm-hmm. And they keep getting nicer and nicer.
Plenty of shit I don't remember from the new books. That's from 15 years ago, and I'm like, it was good.
It's gonna keep on happening.
So with that being said, you already know what it is. As you can see, it's about to be spicy, and I'm about to probably lay low. So you already know Beanie Boys is here. Well, only one Beanie Boy is there.
I'll be back on Saturday for Wrestling Behind the Curtains. You know,
Kenny took the day off. Ryan don't never show up on it, and Rook said he chilling today. So there you go, Beanie Boy in the house.
Hey.
Beanie Boy in the house. Taking Kenny's spot. We here. Geek downstairs.
He was ready.
We'll be back on Sunday. You already know who I am. I'm always here.
Since we're gonna talk Rooney Rule anyway, let me go ahead.
You know what I mean? So before they do all that, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit that bell so you get notified. So every time we go, you know what time it is. You don't like this show? That's cool. Go to Geeked Out. Go to wrestling, whatever. We all here. We got what you like. So with that being said, like I said, I'm gonna sip my water. I'm gonna let these three gentlemen take over. And I'm gonna chime in when I can.
All right, so we're gonna talk Rooney Rule, but let's mention why this shit coming up because you know the Rooney Rule been, I don't know, controversial the word to say, but the Rooney Rule been around for a while and people always got stuff to say about it. The reason why we're talking about it is because Brian Flores is suing the NFL because he said they had already hired the coach when he went into the interview. So, which makes me think, I had this conversation a couple of times, never really got a real outcome. It's just one of those things you talk about, which is what talking shop is. Do y'all think the Rooney Rule is a good thing, or do y'all think it worked? We can start with Ryan, I guess.
I mean, the Rooney Rule, the fact that you got to throw a Rooney Rule in the same period is an issue for me. I mean, I'm appreciative of it, but the fact that you got to put it in there already tell you is an issue already at hand already because you got to throw that in there.
Do you think it worked?
I mean, no, because look, you got rules everywhere else too, and the common jobs and everywhere else in society, everywhere else, not just the NFL. And it's still the same thing, affirmative action and all this other stuff too. You can probably go to McDonald's, you can go to Starbucks, you can probably go to any other job and still get the same outcome that Flores got. Ain't no different in the NFL.
Yeah, the Rooney Rule just states you got to look. So it's not saying you got to hire. And again, you want to hire shit on merit anyway. You're not hiring for just race. What you got to say, Rook?
Yeah, the Rooney Rule, from the time I heard about it, was a bullshit rule.
Yeah.
It means that you have to interview at least one black candidate for each open position.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't mean you have to hire them. And if you have to implement a rule like that, then we have a major issue that is not getting enough attention.
Like I say, it's a regular day. If that's the case, like I said, not just the NFL. That's any job, period. Any job you go to, especially if you get into these big businesses, these Fortune 500 companies and everything else. You know the percentage you got to have on your payroll.
Yeah, see, that's my thing with the Rooney Rule, right? It's like Ryan said, like it's kind of appreciative that it exists because it's making you go out there and look, which they wasn't gonna do. But at the same time, it's like if you got to tell people, "Oh, go look," then they're doing it just to satisfy the rule, and they're not doing it because you can't even talk about merit when it's an uneven, it's an uneven playing field. Like, okay, yeah, I'm a interview this black guy so they can say I did, and then he definitely not getting a job. You're not even taking him serious. And if he ain't have previous opportunities, then how does he have the same level of merit that a lot of nepotism, all that shit is going on in the NFL anyway? You feel me? So I know. So with Brian Flores' situation, it's a 58-page lawsuit. I am not finna read all that shit, but I can pull up real quick what some of the stuff that's on there. It says one of the stuff, the outcomes you want is to increase the influence of black individuals in hiring and terminations decisions for GM, head coach, OC, and DC. To ensure diversity of ownership. That shit sure as hell not happening. Ensure diversity of decision-making by permitting select black players and coaches to participate in interviewing processes. They're not going to give players that extra power in the hiring process. So that's a no for me too. Require NFL teams to introduce to reduce writing the rationale for hiring and termination decisions, which I think is actually regressive, not progressive. You got to have less in writing on why you hiring or firing certain individuals. I don't think that's the direction that is going to help. So again, 58 pages, a lot of shit going on with this lawsuit, but what y'all think?
I like the last part. Like you there should be less in writing after firing a coach, right? Because you give another team too much to read, especially if it's a black coach.
Yeah,
them pages is too long. It's like, hey man, them rich dudes over there ain't like him. I don't like him. Immediately, for one of us, it's for all of us. So it's over after that.
Yeah,
it's a terrible situation because there's the text between him and Belichick where he swears he feels like he's getting a shot. And at the end of the text thread, Belichick's like, oh, they're talking about Debo or Dabo. Sorry. And that thanks Bill is very dejecting. It's like his hopes fell. Not to mention the damn Dolphins fired him because they ain't like him, because he didn't want to tank, because they had their most success with him in the last 2 years, in the last 10. Are they a playoff contending team? And y'all wanted to tank. Y'all want to tank in the NFL? Who tanks in football? It is the most dangerous sport to tank in.
I think it happens all the time.
I think tanking definitely happens in the NFL. We could talk about that. Look, but I definitely, because
your team usually just sucks. All right, and y'all just go with it.
Well, I don't know about that because I could definitely see some instances, like especially as a Dolphin fan, it was talking about when we was down when Andrew Luck was coming out, they was talking about suck for luck, and can't really speak to if they was tanking intentionally or not. But that season before that was terrible. There wasn't enough to get Andrew Luck. We ended up with Ryan Tannehill, and then after that, and then they was talking about tank for Tua, and then we did end up getting Tua. Sure, got Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert, but that's another conversation for another day. Tanking happens in the NFL. It's blatant. You can't tell me the Jacksonville Jaguars is out there. Yeah. Oh, the Eagles. Yeah, for sure. You can't tell me these teams out here trying to win the games. There was some of the games they was losing. But I will say 100K per loss is that's the biggest thing I ever seen.
Look, they offered them $100,000 per game that they lost. The last time when they were tanking for Tua, dudes reportedly in the news had a problem with the whole idea of tanking in that Dolphins locker room. Same thing for the Eagles locker room. When they thought that they wanted to tank, there was an issue. And it was clear and blatant. You started benching certain veterans and stuff like that. But there was an issue. It is too physical of a game in its nature to have dudes go out there and try not to win. So I'm not saying that they don't try to tank, but NFL is the least tanking sport because guys in the locker room don't want to fucking tank.
Yeah,
they put their body on the line to lose.
If we compare to like NBA and MLB, tanking is definitely the dumbest idea in football out of those three because you can still. I'm out there putting my body on the line to lose. Like, I'm still collecting a paycheck, but again, we can talk about how much NFL players individually enjoy actually playing football because a lot of interviews and stats show that for a lot of people it's just a job they don't really care for. But even if you're doing a job, you're not going out there with a job that's harmful. You're not going out there trying to personal pride and all that stuff. No, I'm collecting a paycheck because when you're not on the field, the paycheck you're collecting ain't the same. Number one. Number two, then what was the point of doing it at all? You could have done a lot of other things. A lot of these guys are able-bodied. There's so many other things they could do. They're not out there just collecting a paycheck. A lot of them got love for the game. And personally, when I was playing, love for the game made me hella competitive. I hate fucking losing. To this day, I hate losing fucking Mario Kart. So if you would have had me on that field, told me, oh, you're going to lose this game, I'm playing safety or corner like I did. No, hell no. I'm going up for every ball, and I'm smashing everything that come in front of me. And I might hurt myself. I might hurt my opponent. We can't be doing that. And then, okay, we're going to make sure we lose this game, especially the way some of those losses was happening. No, fuck no. Tanking is dumb. Paying the coach to tank when he clearly didn't want to tank, because we could talk about that all day, because the Florida situation made that abundantly clear when he got fired, because he had 2 back-to-back winning seasons. Y'all can see, as y'all know, if y'all new here, I'm a Dolphins fan. Y'all see I ain't repping today. I want my soccer because the Dolphins are being real shameful right now. So, yeah, like, tanking is a bad idea all around. But with basketball, you get away with it. When the Knicks don't win a game,
it's a bad idea, but I think it happens way too often because you get too many hands in the pot. There's too many people that's players as far as tanking when it comes to the NFL. Because you got, like I said, you got a full lock. You got 53-man roster. You got 11 men on the field, both sides of the ball, and you got coaches involved, and you got front office and everything else involved too. And I can almost guarantee you the refs are involved too.
I tell people this all the time. NFL scripted. They think I'll be joking when I say it.
Yeah,
I'll be mostly joking.
So I agree with you. It's a bad idea. And I agree. I do think there's a lot of guys out there that's not going out there to play, putting their body on the line to lose a game. But I think this might be a lot of time that guys don't know. I just think this is one of these instances now that you're starting to see it coming out the locker room as far as tanking with the coaches and with the players and everything else. Because I'm about sure this happens. I mean, you see this way too. When it comes to draft, it's a business. Because I put the sports like that. That's why I kind of get mad when it comes to when the people talk about LeBron and basketball. LeBron came in with a business mindset. Yeah, he played basketball, but he came in with a business mindset. So yeah, he coming in, he bringing these people in there, and everything else. But he coming in, he ain't leaving without no rings. Yeah. He came in with a totally different mindset. But like, get back on football though. But it's too many people, too many hands in the pot for that. So I'm about sure, just like you say, I'm about sure the guys that do know that you've seen this past season, but I'm not sure there's a whole lot of people that don't know. Because look, as far as football, you ain't got to tell the whole squad, hey, we're gonna take this game. All you gotta do is pull off the right people to the side.
Facts. It's a team sport, but certain positions got a little bit more importance sometimes. That ain't a lot here.
And just like
you bench your quarterback.
And look, just like we talking about as far as money and everything else, there's money in the NFL all over the place. So who's to say that Flores is the only guy that's getting paid $100,000 to lose a game? Hey man, miss that tackle, miss this block, do that. Somebody sure the other guys getting that too.
And you don't got to get paid to lose.
I mean, look how hard it was to flush out Bounty Gate. Dude's getting paid to kill people.
I like
I did too. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a meathead when it comes to football. Boy,
but the thing is,
I could have been on that team. I'm telling you that right now. I'd have been taking. I would have been Jjthebison.
We had Bounty Gate before there was Bounty Gate though. We just didn't pay for it. It was just for no money involved. I mean, as long as we played ball, it was that. Look, that's the one. We're gonna take him out. That was, to me, that was just the nature when it came to the sport. It was just like it was brutal. Yeah. You know, when you're getting out there, I mean, of course, you don't want to get hurt, but you know what the chances are whenever you get out there. And once you get in that mentality, I mean, it's you know.
What coaches always say, if you play afraid to get hurt, you're more likely to get hurt.
Exactly.
Between what you're doing physically and psychology-wise, it's just more likely. It's just going to happen. But even on another tip, if we talk about tanking, I think this Super Bowl that's coming up could tell us all we need to do about how tanking might go forward. Because these two teams are in opposite ends of the thing. The Rams, I wouldn't say they mortgaged their future, but they did draft. They did trade away a young quarterback to get an older one. They did a lot of things. They didn't build through the draft. Like that team is built through free agency. So compared to the Bengals, who had a really shitty season, ended up with Joe Burrow, and the following season after Joe Burrow broke his fucking leg because they were still so bad, they went and got one of his old teammates to be on the O-line. So they did build through the draft. And I ain't gonna lie, spoiler alert, I think the Rams got it, but I think the difference between these two teams is how they built, and we can see is tanking going to continue to be a trend based on that. Because I think tanking was taking a step back due to teams like the Rams saying we could build through the draft, or even the Patriots always building through the draft, but they don't need a number one pick. So we see stuff like that work, but at the same time, you got the Bengals like, okay, well, we sucked one season. Now we in the Super Bowl after not being in the playoff for damn near 20 years. So tanking might be taking another step altogether. I don't know.
I just think it's going through less people, if anything. I think that's about the only change that's happening. Is going through less people. There's not that many people involved now. I think it's still going down plenty behind those closed doors and everything else. It's definitely going on. Like I said, I don't think as many people as involved. But as far as Miami situation, you messed around with the wrong folks. You picked the wrong people to try that with.
Yo, but you tarnishing Brian Flores' legacy to pay him to lose, because as a coach and then worse as a black coach, you rather him have a losing record. You fire him anyway because you finally get your pick and your quarterback and the media takes shots at him, but he got paid to lose. And then you bring in somebody else talking about, oh, it's going to be a new day. That's what would happen to him anyway. It'd have been the same scenario. He's getting fired, but he has success, or he's getting fired and he didn't have success, and we wouldn't know why. All right, I'm glad he got fired for having success and for making this team better and competitive. That's his job.
Yeah,
that's his job, yo. And jobs are scarce. And shout out to the NBA, because if we're gonna talk about this, let's bring it up. Players have more impact on what coach gets hired. Black coaches are getting hired in the NBA. Black GMs are getting hired in the NBA. All right, the NBA is the most progressive sport in this country. All right, and football is still the most highest grossing sport in this country, and they're the least progressive.
Well, I mean, that's what's helping out a lot is baseball is dying a slow death.
I mean, I feel like it was always dying, death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, but yeah, you said that on the whole issue with the NFL right there. It's the highest what?
Highest grossing sports industry in this country, man.
And as far as who's sitting in them chairs, what we looking at sitting in them chairs?
Everybody up there is.
We got one brownish guy and everybody else white. And that brownish guy, he ain't a saint either. So
nope.
I mean, look. If you got a chair at that table, there's no way you could be. So ain't no telling ain't no telling what dirt he got on whoever in order for him to be sitting at that table. Because like I said, you see, ain't nobody else can get it. It don't matter. Even when you get these guys, am I right or wrong about Jay and these other cats were trying to get involved with NFL teams or some of these guys trying to get involved as far as buying a team?
I mean, I heard Diddy.
Yeah, I remember Diddy tried to get the Panthers when Cam was on his way out of there. I remember that shit.
Okay. But look, when you got guys like that, who got money and they still can't get a team, what sense that make? You got who? Peyton Manning and what's his name trying to get a hold of Denver right now?
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, they ain't gonna have no issues getting a hold of Denver. But I promise you put somebody else that'll come out of the league and team up with anybody else, it ain't gonna happen. Because why? The owners still have to have a say so in it. The people that already own the team got to have a say so in it.
That's how Jags got. That's how the Jags owner got in. He's listed as a diverse owner.
So yeah, he's the diversity hire, and it was.
And I guarantee you end up getting that diverse hire. Where is he from?
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I think he's Saudi.
How many of these owners probably have been over there? Again, he got some dirt on somebody. He knows something.
Sure.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be our diverse. Come on. Yeah, you load a little bit too much. Yeah, we need somebody in here. You won't be one of these. You come close enough.
He a couple people homeboy for sure.
I'm not gonna say about Tom for future podcast.
Chaz, I'm gonna tell you right now. As far as wrestling go, I love Tony for what he done for wrestling, but he ain't finna be on the same show with me because I'm have some stuff to say to him about him and his pops because they don't just own the Jaguars. They got, I'm a soccer fan. They got some teams. They all over the place. Them boys are rich. If you know a little something about me, it ain't about just yeah, I'm all about hustling. That's how I was raised. But when it comes to billionaires, ain't too many of them. I'm not gonna call out. I believe every one of them is a scumbag in one way or another because you can't get to that much money without killing. Got a whole shit ton of skeletons in your closet.
You gonna step on? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you stepping on necks, backs, all that to the top. So
that's as far as the owners, as far as the NFL, they just one of them elite coats or whatever. They ain't trying. They don't care. Yeah. Only thing we gonna want you to do is we gonna want you to play for us. We really don't want you to coach for us unless you got one of them teams. Like I appreciate Tampa Bay and how they function down there with their coaching staff and everything else. How they worked out. That's cool with me. Yes, and look, just the whole view of that sideline and everything else, how things are working on that sideline, and you starting to see one thing. I don't see how you can not want to put us in one of those positions. Whatever we touch, it turns to gold eventually. So why not?
Look how long it took them to make us quarterbacks because we wasn't smart enough. They kept saying, look how many quarterbacks are black now.
And I'll go back to that conversation that we were having when we were talking about the quarterbacks, when we were talking about the change of regime with the quarterbacks. and you were talking about the running quarterback in the NFL. At first, as far as a quarterback, it was a pocket quarterback. That's why wasn't nobody running. We gonna put you in the pocket. We want you to throw the ball, run the ball. What the heck is this? Run the ball? No, we gonna get a running back. He will let him do. We'll let him run the ball. We'll throw the ball to the receiver. Offensive lineman, create a pocket so this guy can throw the ball. And when you got guys started to come in now, these young cats, these dual threat quarterbacks, it's changing the game. And why you got a lot of these guys going out now. That's why they used to kill me with this whole Ben thing about never mind. I'm getting a whole to another topic. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What changed the game is when 6'8", 280-pound Julius Peppers, 290, running a 4.4. That's what changed the game. That's what made your quarterback have to be mobile. Ain't no standing in the pocket when giants like that is running 4.4s and 4.5s.
And your lineman can't touch them? No, they ain't gonna have them. So yeah, we're gonna have to figure out something. We're gonna change this up. Sometimes, because no, he can't sit back there and just tap back there and tap that ball like he want to and everything else and think he gonna get time. You think you get time if you won't, your head gonna get knocked off.
That's for sure. That's why Johnny Manziel got so many chances, because he was a running quarterback and he still wasn't black. They got quite a few of those. Steve Young got quite a few chances. They ain't never tell Steve Young to stop running.
Hey, Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Love Steve Young.
Yo, they be real excited when you a little fair of skin, but you athletic. Oh, look, he's mobile. He's mobile.
Oh, yeah.
McCaffrey.
Really negative if I'm black and mobile, but if I'm white and mobile, man, I may as well be Superman. I'm Clark Kent.
Exactly, because it's a rarity. So that's why if you get him like that, that's why when you get a Christian McCaffrey like that, that's why they run him to death like that.
Josh Allen.
PMC, because I used to defend him. I felt like I had to defend him all the time. They're like, oh, white running back. I'm like, the dude got skills, but at the same time, the sword, yo.
What you know what's funny about that, right? Alvin Kamara, he done a lot of good for me fantasy past years. But one of the best things about Alvin Kamara, he killed the CMC argument. They the same. Everyone's like, oh, coming out of Stanford, same arguments you heard coming out of Stanford for CMC. You was hearing for Kamara. No, he can't run through the tackles. I'm like, what games are you watching? This dude run between the tackles, between the guards. He don't care. He hit the hole. I don't care how small
the dude plays at Stanford. You got to run between the tackles.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, again, Tennessee, Kamara was hitting the fucking hole. I don't know what games they was watching. Talking about someone he going to change styles. Nah, boy, he get touchdowns through the air or on the ground. He'll care. It's
just the fact that he's a rarity. That's why when they get these guys back there, because be honest, I'm sorry, when I play ball in any sport and you got a white running back there, I'm one thing I figure at some point, if you back there, either you got to be really worth being back there, or y'all ain't got nothing else back there playing.
Yeah.
Nah, when I saw back there, I thought it was Mike Allstott, and I was like, man, it's about
see, that's the difference between when y'all was playing when I was playing, because thank God there was no fullbacks.
They were fullback. They were blocking linemen. So I mean,
Mike was my boy, but it's gonna get real physical if you saw a white running back when I played.
Oh, thank God. I mean, my team had a fullback, but thank God teams we played against didn't, because
what y'all saying about the rarity is in all sports, because white chocolate over there, Jason Williams, you already know what that was.
Well, I mean,
mean ass handle and
hey, Jason Williams still got lucky, because if he ain't come up through that and one era, he'd have been cooked. No one would have cared for no white dude with all that sauce.
Yeah,
Yo,
he was taking 40-foot threes before Steph was, and he was making them at coaches like bench. And I was like, he made it.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Bench.
But all that flashy stuff, he lucky he had to skip to my lose and people watching Cadillac from and one tours and shit. He got lucky.
My man escalated.
Yeah. If he had done that shit 8 years later,
he go.
If he could have done that shit now. But if he would have done it like that non-sweet spot between when he did it and now, that he'd have been cooked. They'd have been like, nah, son. Yeah. I mean, they was bitching him back then. They definitely would have done, nah, bro.
But you know why they was cooking him though, right? Because they were still trying to erase the Allen Iverson effect.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. All right. That guy that came and destroyed it, David Stern's perfect league and image. All right. Tattoos, braided hair, dreads came in. They're like, yo, hold up. in here. Baggy clothes.
Well, we could talk about that dress code change when Dwayne Wade and LeBron and Melo them came on the scene. You could talk about that dress code change. They was like, "Nah, y'all can't come to games like this no more." Why? Same shit. They ain't want that hip hop shit in the league. Same racist shit, bro.
Like, oh, my league is black.
Like,
Best player.
You got no choice. You ain't got no choice.
If we ever split up the leagues, it'd be a problem.
Yo, it's funny to talk about that. Like, back in the day, they had the black baseball league, and no one was already watching that shit. And bro, do that shit with football and basketball. See which one got the viewership. These white folks ain't gonna be watching no all white football, bro.
I'm sorry. There's just not enough. Whoever's watching can complain if you want. I say that I'm a racist or some shit, which my people know I'm not. So kick rocks. Split up the leagues and see what happens. I did.
I don't got a white friend who would watch that goddamn league. And again, I played ball, so the white boys I know no ball. I don't know a single one of them who would watch a league with no black people. That's just not just because they're not racist, because obviously they wouldn't be fucking around with me. But who gonna watch that? Like, who in their right mind was again?
Where's the excitement?
Yeah, nah, bro.
It's like playing that little foosball table and jumping that ball in the middle of it and spinning a doggone knobs.
Basically.
Yo, didn't nobody dribble a ball between their legs until a brother touched the court. No one threw the ball through it until a brother touched the court.
When the dunk happened? When the Hail Mary happened?
We talk about all the time. What we talk about? When we talk about Bill Russell getting all them rings. What people say all the time? And be like, oh, but who is he playing against? When we talk about Julius Erving, like, we're playing against all them white dudes. It was easy for him. Like, talk about, like, that's just because that's how it. Because you're looking at the opposition, these boys could not. That's why every time a white man come in with sauce, that's why Larry Bird came in and people was like, oh shit, let's look at this guy because he has sauce. Because white people didn't have sauce. They're like, what the fuck? Like, whoa, what is this guy doing? That's why
we still talking about people
beat up the AB.
Who's that?
You see how they beat up the ABA? Like, I'll shout out to one of my mans for talking to me about that. But Julius and them dudes, Iceman, certain people were in the ABA. The ABA was what the NBA is now. It was that fast-paced league with a lot of tricky ball handling and finishing at the basket. And NBA was like, yo, we gotta get rid of this, and then we gotta get their best guys.
Yep.
And you got rid of them, got their best guys, and it took you almost 40 years to turn into what that league already was, which was entertaining.
You better go watch White Man Can't Jump. That's all I'm saying. You ain't seen it. You got a little gem, some couple gems in there. Cause
please, from a geeked out point, don't remake that movie.
Man, give me
please.
Give me two.
This probably a geeked out conversation, but reboots ain't stopping no time soon, son.
No, they rebooting everything.
Bro, nostalgia is Chance, you know this. We still watching wrestling. Nostalgia is the biggest money maker there is, bro. Remind someone about what they used to have. Put a new spin on it to get some new people. Like, think about it.
Again, but you can't remake everything because they
are. Yo, they got How I Met Your Father on Hulu.
No, you wrong. They can remake everything. It may not be worth it, but they can remake everything.
They remade Point Break.
No, that was actually pretty good.
Yo,
they remade 24.
Doing wild shit.
No, son, you can't. You don't.
That was the point. Doing wild shit.
You don't touch Patrick Swayze movies.
Okay. All right.
Oh, man. I love
wait 5 years for another Dirty Dancing.
No, I'm about to say,
the Cody
we
brothers
got one and a nights.
Point Break. What you think the Cody brothers are? The Cody brothers ain't nothing but Point Break on TV.
Yo, do you know they were supposed to remake Roadhouse a long time ago with Ronda Rousey?
They wasn't gonna catch me. So
she was gonna be Patrick's character.
Ronda Rousey? Nah.
Google it.
Yeah, remakes ain't going nowhere no time soon, son. That's where the money at.
It's technically talk shop, so I mean that kind of conversation could be anyway.
Oh, we can talk about anything. It's talking shop. I'm just saying,
No.
We go in depth.
Looking forward to this Fresh Prince of Bel-Air remake.
Oh wait, yeah, they gonna have to miss me with that one.
Yeah,
I mean, I ain't
Not a remake.
Huh?
It's a change of perspectives, and Will switched it. So
So,
Fresh Prince was right. This is gonna be a more dark show.
Yeah, I can't really say remake. So
y'all notice they're doing it by year. Like we had like we in like an 80s phase right now. They slowly get into the 90s, but you see they got a lot of stuff they're doing was from the 80s. Like Saved by the Bell, not a remake, it's a continuation, but who asked for it? Because the people who's watching Saved by the Bell ain't going back. Like again,
Yo, you
like,
know what you don't get? Not to cut you off, even though I did.
Go ahead.
You know what I don't get? I don't watch it. I just seen like obviously the trailers. Why just because you did the reboot or the continuation, whatever, why do you have to go back to your blonde beach hair? Why do they have to look the same?
Oh, they want to bring it.
You got to bring the returning people back with something, and then you got to bring the new crowd with something else. So that's how they figure to do that.
It's a continuation. I got older. I look different.
Hey, it depends on
That make no sense.
Not always.
You know what I would have wished happened though? Like I said, let's talk shop, so we go wherever. But I wish we had a cartoon like Boondocks, or I never watched Boondocks, so if I'm wrong, correct me real quick. But Boondocks, Rick and Morty, obviously The Simpsons, because it lasted for like 85,000 years. But I wish they had an animated series that the people actually grew up.
I mean,
that's. Are you talking about like in that phase, like the Boondock type phase? I'm about to say you got something.
The only thing I can think about where they did something like that was they did that with Rugrats, but they skipped a lot. They went from Rugrats to teenagers. So yeah. I don't know if any cartoon really did that. Like slowly aged out. Like not that I could think of.
Yeah, last long though.
Yeah, they did. They did a couple seasons.
Yeah, you had what say it again?
How long has The Simpsons been going?
Yeah, but if you talk to anybody who like people who's like really into The Simpsons, they tell you when it fell off. It fell off quite a while ago.
Mr. Burns still alive, right? Or did he die finally?
No, they didn't kill it. I don't think they killed a single person like for real.
He about 340 years old.
And look, Peter and that chicken been beat each other for how many years now?
Yeah, they've had I think 5 rounds.
At that point, we
5 rounds in how many years?
Shit.
I had a question posed into the group chat.
What up?
Is this what I asked you yesterday? That I didn't know what the hell was happening, and y'all just
the GM?
Y'all just ignored me.
We didn't ignore you. I just thought Rook was going to explain what we got on here because you know it's content.
I said, "Yo, I'm lost," and everybody went to sleep.
Rook finna explain right now.
But maybe we did. I don't know. Who went to sleep.
I know what she was on yesterday. Go ahead.
Yo, all right. So they always talk about players being overpaid, and I have to defend players not being overpaid. I have to defend players, even the overpaid players, not being overpaid, because in the grand scheme of things, at Kenny's job, at Ryan's job, at my job, I'm not paid my value.
Oh, you never.
White or black, anybody. You work at McDonald's right now. You're not paid your value to the company.
Apparently, at my job, I'm getting paid value. But go ahead.
At Chance's job. Not yet.
If you ain't, you got to. I don't know. You got to look inside. If you're not getting paid your value, son, you better look internally. Look internally, son.
Let's get that phone ring live.
Go ahead.
So like at the MTA, shit. Any company, right? The bank. There's people that you never see that's getting bonuses right now. NBA, all these GMs average salaries $1 to $3 million a year, and most of them on 30 teams make terrible decisions. Presidents, $8-10 million a year sometimes. All right, Knicks current president, $8 million a year. Phil Jackson getting 15. We're the Knicks. A lot of these guys are the overpaid ones. A lot of these guys
technically it is fun to be a Knicks fan right now. I do enjoy watching the Knicks right now, but go ahead.
Don't start. Yo, so all right, just look at it this way. The players play the game, bring the fans, and bring all the advertisement revenue, right? Because without them, you have none of this other stuff. So they are the revenue. They're worth 50% of everything. The GMs are the guys you never see that make all these decisions, are supposed to build your team, raise your hopes, and get the right product out there. For most of these losing ass teams, which one of their front office people is worth $4 million a year? Any one of us can go try and do that shit. A lot of times for the GM role is not even what you know, it's who you know. Some of these dudes don't know basketball no more. Just straight analytic dudes.
Not gonna lie, I do that at 2K. I like the GM.
We're gonna have me go full Karl Marx on this shit because I'm about to get real radical on this shit because this is really my shit right here. And I'm gonna go in my field of soccer because I know basketball, I know football because that's what I grew up with, but soccer's my first love and that's where I watch the most. And I'm gonna give you a big example.
Mafia family running.
Ronaldo,
Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world, arguably top 3 ever. One of their highest and they owned by the same people who own the Buccaneers. So that's the Glazers. They're not dumbasses. But one of the guys who they about to let him go, but they've had in charge for quite a while. His name is Ed Woodward. What does Ed Woodward do before he got a Manchester United job? He was a fucking banker. He was a banker. He was the one making key decisions on what soccer players to sign, when to let him go. He didn't know arguably any more about football than I do. Besides the fact that he probably was a fan for a long time. But he wasn't making good decisions, and he was making a shit ton of money. Shit, even to let him go, they got to pay him a compensation package. And this happens across the board. And Ronaldo, R9, original Ronaldo, was talking about this shit the other day. Talking about Mbappe, one of the new world stars, how much money he making, because players you could call them overpaid as much as you want. You can look at them paychecks like how can we, first of all, I keep telling people all this time, I don't know if y'all know crypto, NFTs, money ain't real. Y'all, we got to understand this. Money is a promise on a piece of paper that people say this means this, and it means you could buy this with that. And as soon as we decide it ain't that no more, it ain't that no more. So players across the board in all sports, tennis players making more money everywhere, but that's because just money just moves so much faster in the world nowadays. But if you think about it, when you're watching a sport, you're watching basketball, watching football, you're not thinking, man, I really wonder what this GM did. No, fuck no. You like, damn, I want to see a dunk. I want to see a touchdown. You think about the stuff on the field. That's what's entertaining you. And when they selling commercials, that's what they're selling. When they're doing TV deals, that's what they're talking about in those meetings. But who's in those meetings? Not players, not former players who are now coaches, not influence, none of that. It's GMs and people who don't always know ball. So, and we talked about this the other day when we talked about like the Stephen A's and the Skip Baylesses of the world and stuff like that. These guys, they talking heads and they played college basketball for a little bit and they average as much points as I would have if I was 3-4 inches taller than I was in college basketball. Like, okay, you was one of the first boxing reporters 40 years ago. So now you get to say whatever the fuck you want. But you never played the game. And I'm cool with analytics and data because I fuck with data like that. But at the same time, it's like the game, not only is the game changing, but now we got people who, how many channels just like ours, like we know ball because we played it, we watched it so long, and it's to the point where that's the only time people on TV. It's people who they know ball and they ball. That's it.
Billy Bean lives in Orlando.
Who?
Billy Bean.
Billy Bean.
The fighter?
Moneyball.
Oh yeah, Moneyball.
He lives in Orlando. Because we're talking about GMs and people that play the game.
Every baseball team GM, they own a house in Florida somewhere because spring training down here. And if they don't, they have a house in Texas.
Arizona.
Look, when you send me that,
Arizona big too, yeah.
Yeah, when you sent me that message earlier, I went straight to football, and then I went to the one that gets me the most right now is probably the doggone Oakland Raiders.
Oh yeah,
because Oakland Raiders been to the playoff. When's the last time they've been to the playoff? Other than this year, was like 2012, something like that.
Drought.
It's been a long time.
Either way, last time they've been to the Super Bowl.
2004, 5, whatever year that was.
Yeah,
okay.
Whatever.
But yeah, y'all sitting up in
Tuck Rule
with this $200 billion stadium. So it's definitely GM making.
Well, that shit cursed because we saw what happened to the Raiders this year.
But that's what I'm saying.
I'm not even talking about on the field, off the field. That shit is clearly cursed.
But I'm like this though. You get that all the money. You shouldn't have been there from the beginning. How the heck you move from Oakland to Las Vegas in a $200 billion stadium? Your team ain't winning.
You know, that's another way they make a lot of these crazy money.
It's a $2 billion stadium, sir. $2 billion.
$2 billion?
Yes.
$2 billion.
Billion is a lot of money. $1 billion is a lot. So
yeah. Excuse me, $2 billion. I'm thinking about the other money, the $100 million people get from this place, that, and other. So there's money changing hands going on back there. Because, like you said, you got this team that ain't winning nothing. You're moving them from Oakland to Vegas.
You ain't watch balls?
And what?
Balls.
Mm-hmm.
Rock told you what was going on.
What? Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. But
great show.
Yeah, but that's what made me first. They go straight. I'm like, there's a lot of GMs. Okay, GM. I don't know how many salaries I found as for a GM salary in the NFL, a legit salary. I think what's his name from the Raiders? I think last time they reported was like 2015 what his salary was.
Oh, you know these rich dudes don't tell how much people they make. We learned that from Trump. I mean, we didn't learn that from them because I knew that before that. But we these rich dudes do not want to tell you how much money they make because then you would really want to fucking kill them.
Exactly. So that's what, as far as these players get this money here, the players' contracts are out, but everybody in their front office, them GMs and everybody else that you don't see, they getting all the money that was sitting there behind it. A whole bunch of money going Oakland to Las Vegas. Your team ain't winning nothing. You got this $2 billion stadium. Appreciate that, Rook. This $2 billion stadium sitting up there and everything else, and you ain't winning nothing. But you sitting in Vegas.
Again, I'm gonna keep telling you, money, no money, and it's not. And I'm not saying that as a compliment. For another example, I got it's soccer, but it's football, it's basketball. Because the owner of the Rams, he also owns the Denver Nuggets. He owns like 3 soccer teams. He owns 2 hockey teams, and he married to the Walmart heiress. So he was going to be sticking with money regardless. And guess what? Switching from St. Louis Rams to Los Angeles Rams gave him another pretty paycheck. I'm hosting the Super Bowl this year is one paycheck. SoFi Stadium as a whole is a giant paycheck. Like these dudes, they not stopping no time soon because people like us could talk all we want, but that ain't enough. They got the money in their pocket and they're gonna keep putting money in their pockets. And one of the ways they do that is we go, and then when we say stuff like, oh, these players overpaid and we taking money out of those players' pockets with our opinions, then bam, wow, what's happening? Where that money going? It's not going to disappear. It's not going to other players. It's staying in the owners, who the owners buddies with, GMs, presidents, shit like that. You got to be a scout 15 years before you even think about doing another job in NFL. You got to be a coordinator, quarterback, coach, all that shit, especially if you're black, like we was talking about earlier. How long you got to do some of those jobs? Brian Flores was a scout for how long before he got a defensive coordinator job for the Patriots? And how long was he doing that? He won 3 rings with the Patriots before he even got a chance to be a head coach in the Dolphins. And 2 winning seasons, no matter, out the door. We can talk about that all day. Money stay where money at. And that's why GMs get paid and players. We could talk about it being overpaid because to us it's because we working for our dollar bills. So to us, we're like, damn, they paying him how much? When you think about it, again, I say this all the time because I played ball and I seen it. You one play away every play from never paying again, especially in football. So
maximize your capital, because they hire their friends or money hires money, like you said. Look at the Giants. When they hired Gettleman, they had a friendship that they built from another tenure that he had while he was over there. All right, so of course he still goes golfing with him. He's like, yo, that's my boy. He was doing work over there. Let me just bring him back over this way. Keep him closer. And you let him get away with murder because he made stupid ass decisions. But that's your man's. So you don't care about the fan base. You did that so you could hang with your boy, feed him a cut off the pie, and just keep things moving. You're gonna get paid anyway. It's another probably $2-3 billion a year for you anyway.
Yeah,
y'all worry about the players getting paid.
If we go into that again, I did a video on the MLB lockout. Check it out on Go for Two Sports Podcast. I talked about it. It was a quick video. If you don't watch baseball, you don't gotta watch baseball to understand it. Players want more money because right now the split is like 60-40 in the way of the owners. And people talk about it all the time. Baseball has probably the best crowd sharing money. Like, your team could be terrible. You're still getting pretty check because the Yankees got to pay you even if you suck because You know, they want the overall product to be better, which is one of the problems they're coming across. But the MLB Players Association doing what the NFL tried to do a couple years ago with the lockout, they're probably doing the best job because spring training coming around, baseball don't look like it's starting no time soon. Because them players like, nah, we want this check. Yeah, and another thing is what owners do. I explained this in the video, but what owners and things like this do, they're like, oh, we're gonna leave you in the minor leagues a little longer. So because then longer you're in the minor leagues, the less they gotta pay you when they call you up to the major leagues. They game in the system. So now we like, okay, it's that time of year. Now we gonna game the system. When the paycheck's coming around, you don't have to pay us more. We want more of that TV money. We want because TV money across all sports is fucking insane. When I started looking at this shit for soccer, for example, the millions of dollars that TV companies are paying for rights. We talk about
one of them issues with the NCAA.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Like players ain't getting paid no money, and NCAA ain't directly paying people like Nick Saban. So you talk about these because Nick Saban contract. How much is that shit? That shit is crazy. These coaches getting paid crazy money, and that's from their individual schools. But these teams are getting kickbacks from being on TV, being on this. Where that money going? Players ain't getting no money. If I play NCAA ball and I get injured today, you say, "Are the kind of smart heart I'll let you finish school maybe," and then okay. Again, I said maybe, and that's just finishing school, which you put the dollar amount on. School don't gotta cost $60,000-$70,000. You just said so. Hey, my school nice. Well, you gonna pay for this? Mind you, I done seen some of them $3,000 schools, and they also not nice. But again, that's because you decided that. So it's like, okay, so where the money going? It ain't going to the players. Now they try to bring the video game back because that's how the conversation really started. People like, oh, bring it back NCAA because it died in 14, but now players like, okay, you're gonna use my likeness. I want money. And they're like, how are we going to do that? Well, you should have been doing it this whole time. It's not, we giving them scholarships. What about FCS who have limited scholarships? What about the schools who give academic scholarships but then allow players to play sports because their schools have limited amount of scholarships? There's so much shiesty shit going on, and people not talking about it because we want our football. We want our NCAA because if NCAA hit the wrong snag, NFL going to have to be like, hey, what y'all doing? Because they ain't getting football players from nowhere else. It ain't like basketball where you could go overseas for a little bit, or we got the G League or whatever they calling it now. No, ain't none of that. If NCAA, it's straight farmer from one to the other. You ain't no minor leagues, ain't nothing. Without NCAA, NFL gonna have a big problem, and I wouldn't be surprised if they step in to protect their dollars. So we gotta figure this shit out soon because I've always said players need to get
right. Get that shit right, yo, or it's over.
We start our own league.
I would never play for Notre Dame, and I don't mean any disrespect to the Notre Dame people.
As a UM fan, I mean all the disrespect to Notre Dame people. All the disrespect.
So y'all call us convicts.
Exactly.
They have this big ass television contract with NBC, and
I don't know why they're fucking horrendous to watch.
Yo, and they won't join a conference for that very reason. Because
they don't need to. They getting the brand coming in. Join the conference for what? They can play whoever they want, fix their schedule. It's like high school ball with way more money. And I said that in a group chat a while ago. We can talk about that. Florida high school is starting this suit talking about some players talking about some. We want NIL deals like the NCAA because these players be 16, 17 balling. Their school's making money off of them. And they're like, well, if I break my leg tomorrow, same situation at NCAA, my life might be over. Especially some of these inner city schools. They ain't getting no real education. They playing ball to get out. So now I can't get out. I'm stuck here. I might be able to go to a good college. Okay, and then what? What am I gonna do? I broke my leg, breaking my back for you, and you made that money. Same shit. Money talks.
Our industry. All right. And y'all make that money off the backs of these players that y'all want to call student
youngins who don't know no better. A lot of times their parents definitely didn't know no better.
Yo, but you don't have to pay them for their student athletes. And in sport, that people are paying fucking NFL prices to see. All right, try to go to a Miami game when it's serious. FSU come to town or some shit.
I haven't been able to look at a FSU ticket in years. Look at it. Come on, bro.
No, you don't want to pay these boys?
So those tickets for what was that? The Alabama and who were they playing? Was it Florida State that were playing in Atlanta?
No, they played the U last year.
Yeah, that was us. That was UM.
Yeah, they played the U.
Yeah, got our fucking teeth kicked in.
I'm glad I couldn't afford the ticket anyway.
A little bit. You ain't lying on that one. But stuff like that. Think about it, like, right? When you talk about like the classic. The classic ain't a great game. It's FAMU versus BCU. It ain't a great game. But the tickets are reasonably priced, and you go get entertained. Not just because of the game, but you got those two of the best bands in the land. It's HBCU, you got culture. There's so many things that could be done if you really cared about the players. But it's about a quick buck. This ain't about none of them dudes on the field. If some of them go to the league, then good for them. We'll say, oh, we help make them, and that's it. But they don't care about them dudes. They care about their product. That's why they want these clean cut dudes. That's why they don't like. If you look at all these domestic violence situations, they don't care about the women and none about that. They care about how good was that dude, how soon can we get back on the field, and how much money can we make off of him. How could they? It's even to a point where cleaning the dude's image now can even make you money. So why not even try it? Like that's where we at now. So as far as that, NCAA better clean up their act, because
and like you say, it's always about money. Cause that's why you got these little small schools going in there playing these big schools getting behind kids.
Yeah,
South Carolina State,
they getting that kickback.
Yep. Nick even said you're gonna take money out of these small schools' hands. There's something to be gained for them out of this game.
So it's always money. And no, you don't worry about the players. Like I said, when you playing them big schools like that, them small schools playing them big schools, you definitely talking about as far as the numbers on the sidelines are always different. So you're always risking injury to that smaller school and everything else, but they willing to get that money though.
Shit, we can talk about that even in high school ball. If you look at the rankings in high school ball for football, but all the top schools are private. I see them all the time. I played against some of them. Again, I stay down here. So St. Thomas is a big one. They produced both the Bosa brothers. That's where Michael Irvin went. That school got money. They could recruit. They could do all types of stuff. They're top 5 school. But another example is the boarding school in Orlando. I forgot what the name of it is. My high school played against it after I quit playing football. But they IMG. There you go. Doing they IMG Academy, because IMG is a sports company. Dwayne Wade done trained there for basketball. They done trained tennis players, soccer, across the board, all sports. And they're a boarding school. And since they've opened, I think after the first year, they've been in the top 4 every year. Because it's a boarding school, they're getting money coming in, they're getting sponsorships coming in. And if a player drops out of IMG, your life is damn sure over, because your reputation going out the window with it. Because they'll be like, oh, you couldn't make it there. Then you can't, because it's basically a college program. So you couldn't do it there, you ain't gonna be able to do it in my program.
Like saying we behind times here, because now we finally starting to get. Y'all probably started hearing us now with Gray Collegiate. The Gray starting to show up and show out a little bit now, but they put them on the same basis. They got a stadium they about to build now. It looked like a college stadium. They put them up. They're doing this just like you say with IMG and everybody else. Got the same basis, getting your college credit, college schedule and everything as far as when you go to school, don't go to school. No, I ain't got class right now and all that other stuff. And they hit all the programs and
these dudes graduating early to go play college ball, all types of it's a whole setup, and it's about getting that bread as soon as possible.
And I will say you do get the high school setup now, the public school setup now, where you can get out and get. But as far as grade doing it a totally different way. As far as bringing people in and come on, you can come here and everything else and all this other stuff, because with the public schools, I don't know how it is with everybody else, but I know with public schools here, if you ain't zoned, you ain't going.
Oh, they're changing it down here now. Right now, they talk about in Florida. Right now, they talk about changing it. And let me tell you what they're doing. They want inner city schools to only play inner city schools. And I saw that headline come across my screen, and I said, "That's some shicey shit." Because what's going to happen is it's not just about the inner city schools kids not going to be able to get out. Because I guarantee you, we still going to get them diamonds in the rough coming out. But a school like St. Thomas not having to play inner city school, you know what that means? Because they already play a school in Las Vegas, a school in Texas, a school in California once a year. That's 3 out-of-state trips. If you don't get them dudes to come here, and one way or another, you're getting paid either if you're going out or if they're coming in. But now what they're going to do? They're going to play 3 teams in Georgia, 2 teams in Las Vegas, 4 from Houston. They're not going to have to play any teams in Florida. And they're going to make all that bread back from giving out scholarships again. School costs how much you say you wanted to cost for a school like St. Thomas and shit like that. So it's like, okay, now they really going to be making that bread. They ain't worry about, damn, we go play one of them inner city schools and they kick our ass. That money ain't coming in because you ain't getting no money off that public school. Them kids playing like that because they hungry. They trying to get out. But now you playing against Las Vegas schools, Some of the kids might be hungry too. I'm not going to say it's not, but you playing against, it's a difference between playing Hunter Renfro and playing against Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin was one of 19. He hungry for a way different reason from Hunter Renfro who just want to go out there and get it. That's a big difference. So they changing that high school shit changing across the board. It's changing everywhere. And I know Florida a hotbed, but I know if it's changing here, it's changing in Texas, it's changing in Georgia, it's changing in California because Cali, that's where them other hotbeds is. So yeah, the game gonna keep changing because there's too much money in the game now. Like Rook said, like Ryan piggyback. There's a lot of money in NFL, but it's a pyramid system. You can't make money because the NFL rules state, NBA rules too. NBA rules are a little different because NBA rules is just you gotta play outside of high school for at least 1 year. That means I could go to Israel right now, play 1 year. Like I think JR did that. He went over there and then bam. He didn't go play college. Yeah, you can go pro somewhere else. Exactly.
After school, get paid.
You can't do that with football. What you gonna do? Go play rugby for a year? What you gonna do? You gonna play CFL for a year? Like, first of all, too much of a risk because you could get injured. Number two, you ain't making no money. So this is damn near the same thing. So you might as well go to college. That's where the scheme lie. They know they're the only place to go until they ain't. But for now they is. So they're gonna keep doing what they're doing until people like us speak up. So we talked about it's down. I've been barking up that tree a long time. We could talk about HBCUs doing their part. We could talk about a lot of stuff. Those people need to do their part for sure. That ain't wrong. But it's a system in place set up that way to make sure that shit don't change. And if shit do change, it's in their benefit, not our benefit.
Yo, Chance, you ever play NCAA football? The game?
I don't know.
You've played Madden though.
Yeah.
NCAA football, if have a competition, Madden wouldn't even be on the shelf. It is the best football game to play.
I remember back in the day.
Coming back is going to have the world on fire.
And NCAA was he? I only used to play Madden to
use my draft class.
Yeah, my incoming draft class. You know what it is. That's the only reason why I play Madden for.
Crazy thing is, I used to do that with the basketball game.
Watch March Madness turn into a big money scheme. I'm surprised they haven't jumped on that yet because I know what gambling to do because y'all know I do a little some of that. But March Madness is people could not watch NCAA basketball all year. March come around and everyone watch basketball all of a sudden. Like, what the fuck? They don't even know how people get into the Sweet 16, but everybody watching now.
Yo, you already know I got a problem with Hard Rock Sportsbook in Orlando. But DraftKings, I don't know what's up with y'all. I did the Royal Rumble. I got 6 out of 6. You guys pay me $3.06.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. You got to call somebody about that. I don't know what they're doing.
Did you read like the odds and shit?
the fine print.
Done. 6 out of 6. I got $3.
Because it tells you how much you're gonna get paid if you win. So I don't think
I thought it said 25,000.
What?
It probably too many of y'all that got 6 out of 6. That's why you only got that much.
Yeah, the thing about DraftKings, DraftKings is a little splitty split. It's not just about it's if you win it solo. That's the thing about DraftKings. It's not purely in some cases.
It's just like the lottery. If you other people win it, you gotta split it.
Mm-hmm.
DraftKings.
So
regular gambling ain't like that.
That shit, everybody got it right.
Because WWE is predictable.
Yeah, that shit not where the money at. If you hit an underdog,
what does that tell you?
Huh?
What does that tell you if I'm watching WWE and I got 6 out of 6?
Oh, I'm about to tell you right now. Because if you hit an underdog with wrestling, first of all, something wrong. Because gambling companies have insiders. They 100% do. It's part of the algorithm. That's how they calculate for a lot of that shit. If you're talking about wrestling, which is scripted, and you know the thing beforehand, they get stuff wrong. Some people getting fired because they're supposed to know. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that's the payout on that. Because if I pick 6 winners from anything, this past weekend, I did a parlay, 4 teams. It was the Heat to win, Warriors to win, Chiefs to win, even though I didn't think they was going to win because I made money off the Bengals winning, and then the Rams to win. That's 4 teams. It was all favorites. You put $10 down. I was making $12. And the Heat lost, by the way. So I wasn't going to make it anyway. So, but it's like, you looked at the odds and it's like, That's a 4-rounder. That's supposed to be a pretty penny. No, these gambling companies, bro. If you looked at it in Jersey when they first bring out sports betting, they made $1 billion off people missing parlays because all you gotta do is miss one and then you fucked.
I don't know why y'all play parlays. That's crazy.
Hey,
no, it's the way.
What y'all looking around for? Everyone looked around.
I heard somebody.
That's Kenny. Yeah, what you drinking that you thought somebody rolled up in your house?
Who?
You looking around like somebody rolled up in your crib.
I'm trying to figure out where the noise coming from. I know ain't nobody coming here. I wish somebody would step in this house. That'd be the last time they step in here. They ain't supposed to be in here. One threshold to step to. And it all determines on which room I'm in and what you gonna get.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yo, this is Talking Shop.
Yes, indeed.
Stay ready, don't have to get ready.
What we got left on the list?
Shoot, that's pretty much everything, ain't it? Everything plus more, ain't it?
Yep. I can go eat my salmon.
No, you ain't do DoorDash today? No Hooters?
Nah, so I ain't playing with that. So I lost 4 more pounds this week. I ain't playing. I'm coming for Rook spot.
So he don't want me to punch no more.
Because we might as well clip it because Kenny is left.
Oh, Kenny did DoorDash today.
No. Might send him a text. Make sure everything all right over there. Man just took off. So with that being said, you already know. We'll be back for Geeked Out. Like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the bell, get notified, get your merch, because we got all the stuff in there. So you already know what to do.
Any false moves in the Ruger clap. Only time you lick shots is listening to Super Cap. Phonies make me laugh.